I think we're on.
Very good. Hey, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Give me 1 second.
It's a funny tech day today. It's kind of funny outside too. It's all dreary.
It is.
It's funny how Florida is, being an Ohioan as I am, of course, I'm used to the four seasons.
Yeah,
right?
we have them too here.
We
It's
kind of do.
Hot, really, really hot.
Yeah. No, it's a different seasonal thing because
every day.
seriously, we were so dry and literally,
God,
living where I do, we lakes of Jacaranda, we call it the beaches of Jacaranda.
Beaches,
yeah, because really all the lakes and the
seated,
I know it's crazy. They're starting to fill back.
Well, ours is full. Ours because it's been pouring in Sarasota, but you could walk out 5 feet into the water, where the water normally is. I'm like, oh my God, it was really dry.
So I had a few tech gremlins this morning, but here we are. Listen, so telehealth is gone. And first off, listen, I want to acknowledge my lovely wife, Patty, and her family. We lost, her mom this past weekend, of course. Yeah. And she was a great lady, Maddie Kiesler, she really was, lived a really interesting life. I really had a fantastic opportunity when I was in my gap year to take 2 wonderful cruises with her. One was the transatlantic from Barcelona over to Tampa, but the other one was around Cape Horn when we did the, it really was, and seeing the other side of the world and getting close to Antarctica, as we talked about the other day.
For the flat world.
So yes, the world is not actually flat.
It's not flat.
Right. But anyway, so once again, deepest condolences to the Kiesler family and the Paderewskis, of course, and everything. But so it's kind of dreary to that extent. But we changed over from one to the, dry now every day. We get some rain and it's kind of crazy. And I guess there's a couple systems that are starting to form.
Yeah, we have to watch the beginning of
We do. And that goes right along with telehealth. Everybody, listen, never to equate the loss of telehealth with the loss of human life. And listen, also, we got to give a shout out down to what's going on down in Surfside.
Oh, God.
Listen, so I have a friend, reporter, Samantha Gross, who writes for Miami Herald. She's a Cantonian, actually, for my Northeast Ohio friends, and her parents are still up there. But anyway, I reached out to her and I said, you know what, you're doing stories now that you never prepared to do. You're talking to survivors with family members that are literally, and I saw I heard some audio this morning, actually. There were people in the building there, right there, that didn't go down, that felt the rumble as it went down, and some having family members that were in the condo complex, but on the other side. Can you imagine?
I can't. Honestly, it's such a tragedy.
So there's PTSD comes from so many different angles, in this era. But I want to give a shout out to the first responders, and everybody else who's doing different things these days.
And such an amazing effort. I think you have this 15 Israeli soldiers are here from the Israeli task force. We have other crash crews that are coming in from all over the United States. So shout out, and they're working in shifts and carrying 80 pounds.
It was pouring rain too.
The pouring rain and lightning. And honestly, you're going into a building that obviously was unstable, and they risk their lives every day. And for the families, I know at this point you say hope, but it's obviously minimal at this point. But you just have to pray for these families to have some sense of closure.
And the closure is so difficult because of some of the burial, type of laws I know within the Jewish tradition.
Very soon and by sunset.
Well, it does, and body parts.
And body parts have to be recovered.
There's actually a certain, service that people perform in order. Yeah, it's
going to be exhausting on all the families. But the only other thing is you hear about these inspections and things like that, and I get it. They were expensive to fix these buildings, and we had one here in Sarasota at Dolphin Towers. Yeah. I mean, a friend of mine is an architect that actually redid the
years of repairs.
Yeah,
and
good.
Tons
Shout
of
out to
money
Barker Associates. Barker did a great job of restoring the building, and he's a friend of mine. He's a great architect, and the damage, he said too. He goes, the building was very dangerous, so it does happen. So
and listen to the people that are living along the strip down there, or literally in any coastal high-rise right now. Right.
Whether you're in Palm Beach.
Well, I heard from Eric Stevens, our friend down in Miami. He lives in a high-rise, and they are actually doing active inspections right now because he says it's hard to sleep at night, and
Really?
he sits
It's like
on
a knee-jerk
he sits
reaction,
on his
but
homeowners association board or whatever. And so there's,
scary.
and my brother's a homeowners association attorney. You can only imagine the various levels
Well,
of
right now, like
craziness that's
and
going to
the
come down
lawsuits
in
that
this.
are going to be handed
Right.
out on this. Is
So,
gonna be
once again, not to
tremendous.
equate telehealth with the loss of life, but that's our world right now, everybody. And
It is the loss.
listen,
Telehealth has impacted our
it's
office
impacted
and
a lot of
patients.
people, and now that we're getting into certain weather condition times and other, listen, there's
And
reasons
still-
not to leave your home in
Well,
Florida.
COVID
The Delta
is
variant, the Delta
still out
variant is
there.
real. And we know we
It
had
is.
some deaths up in Hillsborough and other pockets. And
Yeah.
listen, the bottom line is the bottom line. We do appeal to the governor, if he can make any change right now, okay, in bringing telehealth back. I say to our patients, listen, we've
some phone
lobbied,
calls.
we've worked. Yeah,
But
make
you
the
have to
phone
make the
calls.
phone calls.
You do.
Because our staff is taking the brunt, to be honest. And
I was going to make the appeal. Be kind to your doctors
be kind to
and
your
your
doctors
cannabis
and their
staffs,
staff.
everybody.
This is not their call. This is the governor's call. He gave an emergency order during COVID. He retracted it now. So we're back to normal visits. So please don't take it out on staff or the doctors. It's not their call. They would be really happy to continue telehealth. If you want to make a phone call, pick it up, call your congressman, local representative,
state senator, for sure.
State senator and the governor's office directly, and just leave them a message, say you want telehealth back.
It's pathetic that it was codified in this past legislative session to go alcohol. To go alcohol was actually codified. Yes, it was. It was allowed via emergency order per the governor. And that was one of the things that the legislature did cement in law. You're allowed to have to go alcohol.
Oh, to go.
Now.
Okay, I was like,
no. I mean, when you order to go, you can also get drinks to go from your restaurant or bar.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a tourist state. We should have had that anyway.
The point is, though, to codify that as an emergency order and then take that and then not to take care of the patients of Florida. Seriously, I mean it. And the governor has his role in this, but I much more so blame the state legislature, quite frankly, for not crumbling out one bit of positivity from this last legislative session. I don't understand it. I was quoted in a Gary Stein article about it. I must not know politics, because I would think that they would want to crumble out at least one small positive to the 300,000 Democrats and the 300,000 Republicans that are in the program. We're almost to 600,000, Ruta, believe it or not. So it's a shame. It's a shame because, listen, there are patients still, and I'm glad I got it back in my brain because I was going to say it 60 seconds ago. There's still patients who don't want to go out of the home without a mask. And listen, for my patients who are watching, we absolutely are ready for you. If you don't want to come into the office at this point, we will come out to the parking lot and go back to code yellow for certain patients. And we do have a clean room that is off our side door where if you want to avoid contacts, we do. So we're going to go back to our early COVID days, as you remember, Ruta.
Well, the thing is we have to, because that Delta variant is out there. And there's still patients who are compromised, and there are, and we have to take that into account. It's a doctor office and a medical practice.
So, once again, we appeal. The numbers are easily found, everybody. They're right online. The governor's office phone number, Adam, if we were prepared today, I'm teasing, we could have put him right up on the screen, but let's not do that. And his email too, but reach out. This is what made the difference in the 10% THC cap battle, everybody. And one of the reasons we were successfully able to hold that back again this year were the patients reaching out and the patient stories. So never ignore what you can do as a patient, probably even more so, even what we can do as physicians' offices. But believe me when I tell you, there's an active movement right now to see if we can somehow bring back, preserve, codify telehealth in the next legislative session. If we can get it before that, we'll see. But everybody, we're here every day. We're ready to see you, and
we also had some Supreme Court justice in
right
now.
Listen, Clarence Thomas himself, one of the most conservative of the justices, literally said the entire conundrum of federal law right now when it comes to cannabis just makes no sense.
It makes no sense anymore because it's legal in so many states. Why is this federal system still hanging in over this illegality and all of it? So for Clarence Thomas to come out, I think that's a major statement.
It's huge.
It's huge because he's ultra conservative. So
he is.
He is.
And it's interesting too because conservatism is also about freedom and personal freedoms and personal liberties, right?
It should be.
And open free markets.
Open free markets, right? And less government control.
But I think it's a very interesting aspect now because I think most of us have focused on the legislative solution to federal descheduling and decriminalization, but maybe it comes through the courts. Maybe it comes that way.
It should come through the courts because if you look at it, I'm not an attorney, but if you look at it, it only makes sense because if the state laws now are so prevalent and so many states have gone to either full recreational or some actually just 2 states are not, medicinal marijuana. At this point, if you have 48 out of your 50 states all passing state legislation to make it legal in some manner, the feds have got to go. And constitutionally, I can't see it's a plant. I mean, you're deeming it illegal. You're deeming it this. The rest of the states are saying, okay, population of people are for it. You know, I rule on it. And hopefully it does according to the law and hopefully it'll open it up and it'll give more access and talk about patient access. You'll get access and you'll get it paid for and you'll have vets getting access and having it paid for. It's expensive. So I think, I think it's a great thing and I hope Clarence Thomas maybe takes it up and
yeah, listen, coming from that side of the court, it's just interesting.
It's very interesting, and I think it's a good thing.
Another avenue, and opens and continues the discussion about what needs to be solved. It's literally the myriad of different laws. Mexico just had a big step last week as well. So now we have Canada fully legalized on the north front and Mexico down on the southern front, very, very close. There was another Supreme Court decision down there and things of that nature. On the other hand, Colorado kind of went the other way, right? Yeah. And restricted.
And some other states are. I heard now there's rumblings through a lot of states that they're going to look at THC levels.
Potency and safety. And we're all about that too. That's why it's all about the education and the advocacy for the appropriate reforms as we go forward. And
I think, and I think with Clarence Thomas's discussion, I think once the feds open it up, it actually is a game changer for everyone because I think at that point you're going to open it to research funding much more so in real research because now it's like it's very hard to get funding. It's very hard to do real research. And if they open it up, the research opens up and it only become more safe for patients. And I think that's the important thing.
Well, it is, and no doubt about it. And let's face it, we need to be cognizant as a physician practice, right, of certain possible harms, from cannabis. We know that there's not catastrophic harms to the extent of breathing or heart rate, things of that nature in general. But listen, developing brain, under 25, we don't want anybody burrowed into the couch, not succeeding in life, although I think that's more of a parenting issue with every substance and everything that's out there these days. Let's face it, it's not easy raising kids these days, and there's a lot of things that can get you.
And even like you said, job security, job performance. I mean, there's a lot of things still to look at
as we navigate through 2021, as we go forward, but listen, post-COVID world, everybody, I'm going to Vegas.
You get to go to Vegas.
I do. It was a trip that was planned before Patty's mom's passing. And actually, quite frankly, it will be a great decompression for her, first post-COVID trip anywhere. And I'll be honest with you, I'm ready. I think the country is also ready to open up. And I'm going to implore people, once again, get vaccinated. I'm a doctor. I'm going to come that way at you, everybody, okay? Because listen, I'm an alternative healthcare physician as well. And I tell my patients this because not all of our patients have been vaccinated when they come in. But I ask them because if they have been, I remove my mask and they remove their mask because we've both been vaccinated. If they haven't been vaccinated, I keep my mask on.
Well, we do and we don't because we have one staff member that's not
I understand, but what I explain to my patients as an alternative healthcare provider, I need to give them the option not to get the vaccine because it would be kind of hypocritical for me advocating medical cannabis. But my point is, I do believe in science and I do believe in the vaccine being safe and critical, quite frankly, right now to getting back to normalcy in this country. And I pray that the Delta variant doesn't raise its head, okay, ugly head in the states that have unbelievably poor vaccination rates.
Well, Missouri, they said the rate is really high for the Delta variant, but only 38% of their population is vaccinated. And now they're having increased hospitalizations by large numbers. So, I mean, come on.
So if you're vaccinated, listen, I heard Dr. Fauci speak yesterday. If you're vaccinated, you can feel pretty comfortable in getting back to a normal life. Listen, I tell everybody.
And people are. They don't want to go back.
They don't. Listen, I still have a mask in my pocket, and I put my seatbelt on when I get in the car, too. So there's levels of protection. But as a doctor, I strongly encourage my friends, my family, my patients to get vaccinated. But I'm going to Vegas, first trip since COVID. And, I think it's, and the American public, I mean, we're looking forward to July 4th. And I think if you're vaccinated, you can get out strongly. If you're not vaccinated, everybody, please still be careful. That Delta variant is nasty, okay?
But it's so nice to see restaurants full.
It is.
I was watching the Bolts game last night,
and they won. I think
they won.
Yeah.
But if you look, the stadium, Emily is full.
Right.
It's packed. People are there. Everyone wants normalcy. Nobody wants to go backwards, and it's only because of the vaccines that we're able to do this. So, we have to get up to that herd immunity. We got to get people vaccinated. People want to travel. Most countries now are still mandating you have to have proof of vaccines to travel, especially internationally.
My brother just got back from St. Kitts. He was crazy. They couldn't even go off the whole gratification site.
Islands
they had to test before going in, before going out.
Hawaii, you have to test and test.
It's not over.
It's not over. It's not, and people still have to be cautious. So, it's protection for everybody. Look at it that way.
But everybody have a safe July 4th.
And I have to give a quick happy birthday to Andres Butkus, who is having a birthday tomorrow. He helps us out sometimes in the green room and in our clinic. So happy
keeps
birthday.
Everybody mobile
keeps
and
everybody fit
mobile
and dancing. So happy birthday.
So next week's green room is going to be a special green room because I will not be here, but we'll have a special guest in.
Yeah, we'll have a guest in. I'll let you guys know. We'll text
as we get closer to the date.
And so happy 4th of July, everybody.
And be careful with those fireworks too and everything. That's
with
my old ER doc
coming out. And honestly, not only that, but please be cautious of your neighbors with fireworks. There are people who are vets.
Sure.
They have PTSD, and the fireworks, it affects them. So please be cognizant that not everybody sees fireworks in a positive light. Some of them see it as artillery hitting them, and so please be cognizant of your neighbors. Respect the vets. Please respect the vets. And
as an ER doctor, fireworks to me have always been one of those things. And how the hell can those things be legal? You know what I mean?
Just I don't get the explosions.
In professional hands, fantastic. But to sell fireworks to the public,
I don't get
it's always been one of those things that to me
is professional ones. I don't see them why they're letting them off and taking fingers and eyes out.
The contrasts of 2021 living.
Yeah.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe, everyone. Happy 4th of July. See you next week. And happy